Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? Let me see. Yes, we're live. There we are. Hey, Amanda and up three. Good to see you there. Hang on. Something is happening here. Um, stupid settings. All right. There we are. Also on D Live. No, not yet. That seems not to be working. Well, so be it. Also, I didn't even put up my chat. Oh my gosh, I'm so not prepared.
That's all right. That's all right.
Anyway, you guys,
You got this.
I've got a guest, Tyler, who I bumped into during a call, and I figured let's invite him since I've got not much to say. I see we're live now on D Live, so that's good. Um, so hello everybody, good to see you. Let me pull up my chat. So not prepared. Right, there's everybody. Hello, Cosmic Lion, good to see you. Let me see who else is there. Just to get Julia, good to see you. Jeffrey, good to see you. So, right, today I am live with you guys. Hi, Brett. In D Live, good to see you. I'm just live because I wanted to just go live because I haven't been live last week. Although I'm going to announce I'm going to have another 2 weeks off. And why is that? Because, first of all, I'm tired. Second, it's very slow at this moment. And third, because I'm tapering off medication. So I need to um, prepare a bit for that. And other than that, as you can see in my background, there's a little storm coming. Maybe not so little, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Um, Hey, XJ, hope you and your cats are all good. Actually, you missed that part. Both my cats passed away a month ago, a little over a month ago, 7 days apart from each other. And it was really tough, but I'm okay now. So actually, that was in June, 1st of June. And I've got Tyler. I actually was supposed to have a call with Tyler, and I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna invite him and see if he can call in and give us a little update about how he said he was, and if he can tell a bit about that. So it's fun because also the stream that was on James's channel was so bad
Hmm.
we couldn't even follow it. So I
Yeah.
figured,
Well, we went live from our channel and that went off well, but
yeah,
for some reason, James didn't have as much luck. It didn't go. I tried watching it back and sending it to people, and they're like, "We can't watch this," unfortunately, but because it was good stuff. But it was always, as always, I'm not joking. When every time I go there, something happens that's life changing. Something that you can't even see coming, even no matter you could just sit down and try and make all these predictions on like what could happen. And then you get there and then he said he just like sidelines you with something else. Like, oh, okay. But this time it was positive and it was one of the best trips of my life, honestly. And
really.
yeah, it was really awesome. It was really awesome. There was less people there this year, but
Oh,
it, the,
really?
it was the first they capped it at 200 people this year instead of 300 or 400 or whatever it was the prior years, and the energy was calm. It seemed like just the right people were there. It wasn't chaotic like the years before. Everyone agreed collectively, like it just had an overall different feel this year, but it was better. And
Right.
every time you go to ECETI, it's like a new place. It's like
Yeah.
this isn't where I was last year. It's like the same setting, but it feels different. It's really weird.
So how
Um,
were the experiences over there?
Fantastic. I mean, second night we were there, you're always seeing craft in the sky. Second night we were there, you might have heard of Laura talk about this or Kate even talk about this on her
No, I
show.
haven't spoken to anybody yet, except for
Um,
Tessa.
yeah, well, the second night we were there, which was then Thursday night, yeah, Thursday night, we saw an entire fleet of craft. And I'm not joking when I say fleet. There was 20 or more. Some of them were flying in formation. Some of them looked like they were just appearing out of a portal or something. It was like the whole place, everyone's hair was standing up. We were all like, hooting and hollering and chanting, screaming. Like you would think that we were watching like a sports game or something and cheering for the winning team. That's what it was. That's just the natural reaction when you see all like at one time you lose count of them and they're going different directions and they're powering up and they're flying in formations and V's. It's just totally like you have to like pinch yourself to make sure it's real type of
So
thing.
was it more than the other years or
I've
same?
I've never seen that many at one time in the sky. All the years I've been there.
Wow.
It was you literally you couldn't count them. It looked like bugs scattering. The sky, the stars just looked like they were moving. It was just unreal.
I heard that. Actually, Tessa told me about that, but I haven't spoken to the others yet. But obviously, everybody saw the same. So I guess, yeah, that's correct. Hey, Nicole, good to see you and Noctu Rising
What up,
and
Frolly Pop?
Frolly Pop.
Mhm.
Yeah, good to see you. Always looking great in your videos. I need to start doing these shorts too because I'm getting too lazy doing these long live videos.
Yeah, I
But
gotta get Nicole's figured it out. Yeah.
yeah, she did. She figured it out. And and also I figured it's so calm now. I don't know about you guys. And I figured I'm gonna take 2 weeks off because yeah, this is another question I have. Do you guys have also that you are either awake for a long time and then asleep for a long time or just naps? Everybody is now having these weird sleep patterns.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time with me. Sometimes I can't even explain it. I'm just restless. I'm like, I'm checking the Schumann resonance. Why did I look at my watch when I'm checking the Schumann resonance? It's funny. Ah,
Oh, you're advanced.
yeah, exactly. I just checked my wrist, pops up on my arm. Um, I don't know. Sleep patterns have always been, I've always had problems with insomnia and stuff, but lately, yeah, it's hard to explain. There's weird energies. It seems like everything's kind of scattered. We're not really, you really have to focus on grounding right now. I've realized,
Oh yeah, because I woke up 24 hours ago after 20 hours of sleep. That's why I'm still awake. And I figured, I was too tired to go live. And now that I'm live, I'm awake again. It's so freaking abnormal.
you,
There is no pattern for me at all. I can be even 36 hours awake and I'm looking and I'm like, well, and time
I don't know how
flies.
you do that. I don't know how you do that. That's crazy.
Well, obviously, I'm also living in the US time zone, but at the same time in Europe and stuff. But I don't know how I do it either because I'm not getting any younger. And usually, then, you cannot drag on and all that. But for some reason, it feels like the time is speeding up incredibly. Do
Yeah,
you have that?
we're already in August. Like, what the hell? Where did the
Yeah.
year go?
Yeah. You all were gone with my birthday.
Yeah,
I do
happy
blame you all.
birthday. Yeah. Um, how old are you now? 36?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's right.
52. But
52. Wow.
yeah, I'm pulling a Benjamin Button. So, but it's so weird because I can be awake for 24 hours, 36 hours, and then all of a sudden I sleep and sleep, and I don't even see it. It doesn't even feel as 36 hours when I'm awake. It's so weird.
What star system are you from?
Well, according to my higher self, it's the Andromedan galaxy.
I wonder if they have different sleep patterns up there and you're more Andromedan than human.
Yeah, well,
I think
that
about
in
that
any
type of
case,
stuff.
aren't we all?
Yeah.
Things are starting to blur a bit now between, those that are busy doing the spiritual work and all that. So did you notice any of that as well in ESETI?
The spiritual work?
Yeah, people,
Yeah.
advancing more in that sense and getting more, I don't know,
Yeah.
intuitive.
I had a whole life-changing moment there that I haven't even talked about publicly, but uh
You wanna?
do you know briefly, I can't go into too many details because it's really personal actually, but um Laura Van Tyne, do you know who she is? We've had her on our show. Um
Mm.
She
Mm.
specializes in working in the fourth dimension, crossing over trapped souls and all that type of stuff. I had a session with her right after her talk. There's a whole series of events that led up to this, but I'll just briefly tell you the main part of it. What happened was she was able to, I felt like I had an attachment all of a sudden. I'm like, this is weird. This is not right. And this thing feels like it's pissed off. I've had it before and I know what it feels like. So immediately I found her and we did like an emergency surgery session,
Yeah.
she could even tell. And this thing had been with me my entire life for lifetimes, basically. And it had been manipulating me, it never wanted me to remember who I really was, like who I really am, not in my human body, but who I really am, which I'm still trying to figure out. And if anything she told me is accurate, I gotta rethink some things. Because anyway, what we found out was that this thing had basically hijacked, like every time you go to hypnosis, you go to a safe place. And in the safe place, that's where they start your session. Well, this thing was there. I've had like 4 or 5 different regressions, and I would always create the same place for me. And she had me create it, and she described, she's like, you realize you didn't create a safe place. You created a trap for yourself that you can't get out of.
So was it regression or the QHHT kind
It
of
was
thing?
like a regression, but this was like no bullshit, skip all the bullshit, straight in, straight under. I've never had it happen to me like this before. I didn't even know it was possible. I've only seen it in movies. I didn't know that somebody can go under like that quick, whatever she did. And everything was real. Everything she described, I felt, I could see. My body was physically reacting, like I was like convulsing, and out my head, I couldn't even keep my head up. Everything she described that was she was doing in my body, I could feel. I was laughing, I was crying, I was like, what the fuck? Like I just kept saying, what the fuck? Because it was so real. I couldn't believe I was feeling it. But this thing had, at one point she was like, what do you want from him? Why are you here? And like this thing starts talking through me and it's like, we're sucking his fucking energy dry. That's what
No.
that's what came out of my mouth. And she's like, well, not anymore, motherfucker. And she's like, this thing is intense. My whole body's doing this weird shit. And she's screaming at this thing. And she's like yelling. And I don't know what's going on. And this thing finally leaves me. And we realized, so in my safe place, there's like a cave entrance. And this thing was residing in this cave entrance. Once we got it out of there, we went in the cave to see what it was like, what it was protecting in the cave. And we saw, like, I thought it was a bunch of aliens, like hundreds of them. She thought maybe it was children. Then once we started looking closer, she's like, oh my God, these are soul fragments and that they've been taking from you for lifetimes. And so she was able to return all these soul fragments back to me. and
Whoa.
and the whole, I could literally feel. And then she was like, okay. And then she saw like these serpents wrapped around the base of my spine and this brown fluid, and she removed it all, and I could feel it like coming out of my body physically. I was actually laughing because I knew this thing was at the end of its road. And she's like, yeah, this thing is pissed, and it knows it's at the end of its road, that's why it's pissed. And when it was happening, I was laughing and crying at the same time, just because I knew good things were coming. It finally left. I felt like 100 pounds lighter. I didn't even know what was going on. And it was just life changing. There's so much more to that. I wish I could share, but I wasn't even planning on sharing it at all, actually. And I'm just not ready to talk about all of it yet. But what happened was, immediately after that, I walked out, finally gathered myself, and I was walking around. Some girl who's a fan of ours was like, hey, can I take a picture with you? I'm like, sure. She takes a picture, and I'm like encompassed in this like rainbow halo. Like I was just like this new person. And Alora even said, she goes, you look different. Like everyone was like, what happened? Like everyone just thought I looked different. Like I don't know what it was. And yeah, it was totally life changing.
Actually,
And
now that I look at you properly, because I was all over the place, obviously, before going live, but it's true. You do look different.
Yeah, I feel like a weight had been lifted. And it was a reptilian. It was definitely a reptilian that force. Reptilian. I don't know if it was a reptilian, but it's some reptilian type of entity.
Wow. Whoa, that must be so freaking liberating after that, because obviously I experienced something similar.
Yeah.
Um, because I was sort of fragmented as well. And I did QHCT, and I had, like, with Angela, who did a session with me. I had her on a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, freaking amazing. It was, there was so much coming out, especially after losing the cats. There was so much, grief, but at the same time, so much change. And that all also returned into other things coming back to me, because, I never dealt with that stuff. But it's so powerful when that happens. And especially now I see it all over the place, because apparently it's the time.
Yeah, it was time. Somebody said, "Who was it that helped?" It was Laura Van Tyne. Some of you guys might know who she is. She spoke at
How do
ESETI.
you how do you spell that? So Laura,
I'll type it in there.
okay, cool. On
Um,
YouTube or
she doesn't have a YouTube channel. She's just the Karmic Path. Um, I'll put that in there too. The Karmic Path on Instagram or Facebook, I think. She does sessions. She doesn't have a channel. She does interviews with people, but she's the real deal. And there's actually so much more to that story, but it's just not time. It's personal stuff. But you guys, I have a feeling that everyone's going to be hearing about it soon, because I think what happened, it didn't just involve me, it involved another person there also. And it's like next level stuff. Like, it brought in new concepts that like most people aren't discussing right now. And I really feel like it's going to help some people in the future. So
wow. And because I see this all over the place right now happening, people being so ready to be whole. And that's
mhm.
actually what happened for me, that for the first time in my life I felt whole. And I never had that feeling before, and it's so amazing when that happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's still work to be done, like little things, but I mean, the biggest part is now done, and I do believe we are getting prepped for whatever is coming right now.
Oh yeah, and the biggest part about all that was, which I wasn't even trying to do. I wasn't trying to do any of this. It was all unexpected. But those are my favorite. When you don't have a session booked and it just
Yeah,
all like happens. It's real.
yeah,
Uh, it's not like I was like signing up for a life changing session. You just can't do that.
no.
If you do, or if you are doing that, it's probably not going to happen. But what happened was my back pain that I have suffered with my whole life just kind of just went away.
No.
And I had to keep like slapping myself. I'm like, wait, I keep move. I got so used to moving a certain way and like compensating for it and subconsciously like babying it, that it took me a few days to realize that I didn't have to do that anymore. And I'm still doing it.
Yeah,
And now that I'm back home, like my physical body is actually injured. Like it's not, I have some recovering to do, but I
yes.
feel like I can progress now and move forward, because like I got that energetic attachment that was just like whatever constricting me and holding me down. So I feel like I can actually like start the recovery process now and heal my physical body.
Exactly, because what I learned is that your cells have the memory of it.
Yeah.
And because it has the memory, you need to deal with it over here, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you get sick again. And that's why it's so important that when I had my first session with Eric Rains in 2017, that was, um, I for the first time felt I could move. I had no freedom whatsoever. I felt like in
Mm-hmm.
chains my whole
Sure.
life.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time, it was like I could move, right? And that was so strange. But I fell back because I wasn't ready because there was still so much work to be done. And so I kept going on and on. But, I always remembered that feeling that I got after that session. And now I've got it back, but now my whole body is in it, right?
Hmm.
So the memory in your cells need to be released.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You're,
and it was unexpected for you as well, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, that, but you're 100% right. Is there's a muscle memory there. Your body, oh, and well, here's the thing that we don't realize with pain, traumatic pain like that, chronic illness, whatever it is, once it's gone, as sad as and unfortunate as it sounds, we subconsciously we miss that pain.
Yeah.
We miss it. We don't know how to do without it, how to live without it.
Yes.
And it's really weird. It's really weird to think of. It's like an addiction almost. You're so
Well,
used to it. It's and then like sometimes, like in my case, and I'll just be honest, like you're so used to blaming something on, you have something to blame something on. Like I could blame it on my back problem, why I couldn't go here, why I couldn't do this, why I couldn't do this, because of my back. It was like the fall guy for anything I didn't want to do. I just blamed it on my back issue, and
yes.
now I can't do that. And but it's good. It's great, but we have to remember, like, yeah, it's weird. We just have to remember that we can't let ourselves fall back into that pattern, you know. So,
Exactly. And I heard, by the way, that finally there's the men group now uh, uh, connected with those that want to work on themselves spiritually. And I'm very happy with that, because we had it already with the women for a while, and it's working so great because we all support each other. We work on ourselves. We're being honest with ourselves. No judgments, and it can be harsh sometimes, but it's so important to work together on
eh,
yourself, and then slowly you go in sync with each other. And this is why I'm so happy there's now also the men's group. um
what men's group are you talking about? The Telegram thing?
yeah, the one with Fearless.
Oh, the
And
Divine Dudes or whatever?
yeah,
It hasn't really gotten much ground yet, but it is a cool place. Yeah.
yeah, because it just started, but the whole purpose of it is that, like, what we are doing, well, obviously you haven't heard me talk about it yet in my videos, but we came together like that, and we start growing like crazy. We do meditations together, we go through our issues. We are vulnerable, we trust each other, there's no ego, there's no judgment, and everybody goes through their own crap, and we help each other. And it goes so fast how everybody is developing. It's amazing. And that's why it's so good there's this men's group now. For you guys need to do the same thing, because I do believe that is a place where you can develop yourselves without, when you are a bit more on that path and more,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah. I mean, there are no men's support groups like that, you know. And I didn't even really consider it as a support group until now, hearing you talk about it. I just thought it was a cool group, and everybody's just in there kind of talking shit and just do whatever. But you know how it is. We're just having fun. But it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, well, Fearless knows that, because it was started with the same idea that I started the group, but the group is ours. And it's so important because you can see that all these women, and we're with 41 now, they're all supporting each other. We're all open. Well, not everybody's in there, but it's very important to do this. And it's amazing what we're accomplishing right now. And Craig, you want the link? I don't know if you're already in Telegram, but if you are, just look me up in Telegram, and I'll give it to you privately, because I know it's selective still, because not everybody's on that path. So you want to be selective about it. And for us, it's working perfectly.
So you
Um,
created that group, or Fearless? To
well, I created the women's group, and then I came with the idea for the men's
Oh,
group.
okay, Fearless.
And
Okay,
that,
I got you.
yeah,
I
and
misunderstood you.
Fearless took the initiative for that. And it just started this week, but it's with the same idea as we are working, because it's literally working on yourselves, putting ego aside, and putting the pride aside, and all that stuff. But it's amazing if once you have people that are all on the same page, and you keep it that way in a group like that, it's just
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, it is. we're actually starting to become telepathic now to that point, because we're always in voice chats with each other.
Oh, I mean, I noticed that. I've been noticing it since my awakening and even before that. But you always have that, like you thinking about somebody and then they call you type of thing. But it's getting real now. Like sometimes it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like you literally just like stole the entire exact sentence I was about to say or something. And-
Exactly. Now try do that in a group with people that all on the same page, right? And all, you have no idea how fast that goes. We constantly repeat each other because we all have the same thought and we all have the same happenings. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that we can actually practice that we don't. And I was in a session one time years ago. I was guided to start working on telepathy, and particularly with my father, because he understands this stuff too, and we could like work together. And guess what? We never worked on it. Like I just kind of forgot about it and whatever. But I think it wouldn't take very much to start like seeing some results.
Yeah, it's amazing also if how you see your own intuition, everything, because somehow you feed on each other when you're all on the same path and bandwidth. So it's not for people that are like, oh, just for fun. No, no, this is hard work too,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But you need to set that goal for yourselves, obviously, and
Hmm.
that's what we've done, and that's how it grew, and now we're in there, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, zero judgment indeed, Amanda. And and this is why I said the men should do the same, because you can work together when you're understand each other. You cannot have women there, right, being in the middle
Hmm.
of it, because you cannot have these conversations that men can have, just like women. We together have conversations together, and it's I cannot say anything else, but it's amazing.
No need to. We know. We get it.
Yeah.
Um,
So have you seen anything of the news lately, whatever? Because you've been gone, obviously. You were also in Sedona.
yeah, yeah. Well, that was kind of the great thing about being gone like that is what was funny is we did a current event panel at ESETI one night, and none of us had even checked our phones and had been paying attention to the current events, because when you're out there, you're on your own timeline,
Yeah.
and like the rest of the world might as well not even exist, because it's just you're in like some anomaly of a dimension or something. I don't know what's going on out there.
Yeah. Tessa actually told me, she said, I'm back on Earth because I feel like I was in a complete different dimension over there.
That's the best way to describe it. It really does feel like that. You just don't. There's no way to put it into words. You just have to experience it, really.
Oh man, I can't wait for it. I hope so much next year.
And
Well,
but one thing before I get into current, I did want to share. I had my first daylight sighting of a UFO down there. I've talked about it already on the show, but for your audience, I don't know. It was me, Kate, and Barry Everson. If you know Barry, we were sitting on the deck. It was during one of the Zoom speakers in the middle of the day that we didn't want to. We just didn't feel like being in there for the Zoom speaker, so we were out there by ourselves, just like looking at the mountain, hanging out on this deck. And I was like, I thought I saw something, and I was like, oh shit. I said, there's a UFO right there by the mountain. And they're like, where? And I was like, oh, it's gone. Like I said, I was like, it went behind the mountain. It's gone. And I was explaining it to him. I was like, I thought at first I maybe thought it was a plane, but then it stopped and it was hovering. I was like, well, maybe it's a helicopter. I'm trying to rationalize it in my head. And then by the time I realized that it was neither, it went behind the mountain. And then all of a sudden, Barry's like, oh, it's coming back. I'm like, yeah, that's it. It was just like a cigar shaped black cigar shape or disc. We were too far to tell if it was a disc or a cigar, but
Right.
it was cylindrical like that. And it was going back and forth. And it would stop and hover, and it would go this way, and it would come back. Sometimes it would go behind the mountain again, and it would come back out. We watched it for a good 5 minutes. Kate had the only phone that would even pick it up because it was you could see with your naked eye, but you know how when you try and catch something in the sky with your phone, it doesn't focus on
Yeah.
it. So it doesn't, her phone was able to focus on it and she got pictures of it, but the pictures just look like a little black dot, it might as well
Right.
have been a bird in the distance from the pictures. You can't tell. And we watched this thing. We observed a physical craft in the daylight going like hovering around the mountain. And Barry made a joke. He was like, it looks like it's waiting for clearance to get in the mountain. Because why would it just be like, that's what it looked like? And I was like, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it looks like. It's just hanging out, waiting for the go ahead to go in, is what it felt like. And then it ended up going just behind the mountain and never came back out, didn't come out, out the other
Wow.
side or anything.
So did you, I heard somebody that met Bigfoot over there, or the, what's it called? Sasquatch, whatever.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, yeah, whatever they call it Bigfoot out there.
Yeah. Did you see any?
Not this time. Not this time. Every time I'm there, like the first two times session or conferences I was there, I had Sasquatch activity. This time I
Wow.
didn't. I feel like I was there for a different reason this time. It just depends, you
Right.
know.
Wow. Amazing. So the current news?
Oh, well, what's really interesting, we were in ECETI, then Sedona, no mask, no virus, no social distancing, none of it existed. We were just in our own time bubble,
Yeah.
even in between the conferences, even in Sedona, like it just was a non-issue, wasn't a thing. Everybody, we were just living our lives like everything was fine. I come back home to St. Louis, and they had just reinstated the mask mandate the day I got back. And I try to go to the
No.
grocery store, and there's a big sign up in your face. Everyone must wear a mask. Even if you were vaccinated, you must wear a mask. Vaccinated, you must wear a mask, blah, 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 blah. And it was like so disheartening. I was like, really? But then guess what happened? They had a town hall meeting with Sam Page, the mayor, governor, whoever the hell he is, which is basically like one of the worst
Yeah.
uh, demons of them all. Even the police here don't like him. The county health officials ended up, it turned into like a yelling and screaming match at the town hall meeting. And the county health inspector, the officials ended up walking out of the meeting, flipping them off. It was a,
No.
and they were like, we're not going to abide by your rules. It's unconstitutional, blah, 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 blah. And they said, we're not enforcing this mandate. And they sent out a notice to all the businesses, and within 2 or 3 days of the mandate, it was all taken back down. Even the health officials aren't having it anymore. They're like, no, this makes no sense. We don't need the mask. We
Yeah.
don't need. So, and what happened was they did like a majority vote, and everyone voted against it. Now it's becoming a legal battle. They're trying to, take them to court, saying this is unconstitutional. You cannot do this, and it's becoming a legal case. In the meantime, all of the mandates and all the mandates are in limbo. So
Yeah.
nobody's doing anything right now. It's just we're all free until they make a decision. But it's awesome. Like we're fighting back, and it's not just us. Like the public county health officials are doing it. They said they, even if somebody calls us, we're not going to write them up. We're not going to kick anybody out. We're not going to fine a restaurant. It's over.
Well, the 24th of July, that was my birthday. It was also the first day in history that everybody in Europe, I think it was about 20 million in total worldwide, that have stood up. There were rallies all over the place. It was crazy. Obviously, the
Mhm.
media didn't show it, but I mean, it was crazy. And it's still ongoing. Even this past weekend, again, they stood all up against all these rules. And it's amazing because yeah, people start to revolt. And obviously, yeah, I think things are ramping up. I do believe we need to get prepared for things to come. um yeah, I would say just watch the news and prepare for a storm.
Well, I agree. It's not going to stay like this forever. We hear all this chatter of things to come. We've been let down before with these dates and stuff. So it's always good to be prepared. But I feel like now, like it's at this precipice. Like Trump is doing these rallies now, and he's saying things that he wouldn't be saying unless he plans on shooting himself in the foot. So
Exactly.
he knows something. I don't care what it looks like. I don't know what we're going to experience in the public eye, but something's getting ready to go down.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody knows. Like you said, this is a war. These are war times. No
Yeah,
matter how you want to look at it, it can be defined as war, spiritually and physically.
absolutely.
And things change in the fog of war. So even when we hear information, that might not even be concrete because you don't know what happens on the battlefield every single minute it changes.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know,
So just be
and
prepared.
yeah, absolutely. Keep your eyes open. I was also looking at there's this telegram from McAfee,
Oh yeah, yeah.
very interesting stuff he's dropping. But I do think things are ramping up. I hear it all over the place, people feeling it coming even, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Intuitively.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even I mean, even the UFO sightings are ramping up. Like people are seeing stuff. It's like I don't know what's happening, but things are changing.
Yeah.
Things we are going through a change. We know that we're never going to go back to the way it was, no matter how bad people want to. It's not going to go back. We are transitioning into a new age,
Yeah.
and it's going to be rough for a while. There's no way around it.
Yeah, personally, I've been saying this for a while now. I feel there's a lot of chaos coming, stuff where we need to um, possibly prepare, stuff that our favorite patriot talked about in the past, hence the future proofs past. I think that's going down now, and I do believe people need to, um, you know, get prepared, and you can expect anything at this point, I believe, because I always say, you cannot bake an omelette without breaking an egg. And
Yeah.
this is so huge, the whole change, new earth, stuff like that, that doesn't change overnight, nor does it change with little small you
Exactly.
know
And we're seeing so many people lose motivation right now. The morale's down. It's like, no, another lockdown. Because when you turn the TV on, that's all you hear. But guess what? And everybody's like, what can we do? What can we do? We need to do something. We need to protest. Well, protests, unfortunately, haven't really proved much. Yeah, it shows them that, we're tired of it, but has it changed anything? No. So
Exactly. For me, it's
we're,
rather more a way to see how many people are actually awake, and I'm quite
yeah,
stunned by that. So for that point, it's good. Plus all those people that actually are not going out to demonstrate to begin with,
yeah,
you know. But in that sense, I think it's good for us to look at it.
it
But
is. It's motivating because we know the collective is gonna hit this tipping point, and at some point there's no going back.
yeah,
But what I was getting at is, uh, right now, I think everything is happening exactly the way it's going to happen, whether we intervene or not.
exactly.
It's playing out. It's playing out. There's going to be lives lost. There's going to be casualties. At the end of any civilization, go back in history, there's a war. That's how every civilization, there's a war at the
Absolutely.
end of every civilization. This is what we're seeing right now. Maybe not at the end of every civilization. I'm sorry. At the end of every major age,
Yeah,
there's a war. And that's what we're seeing right now. And there's going to be lives lost. This might even be what the split looks like, the new Earth. We don't know, but
yeah.
we're not going to change the world with a YouTube video. We're not going to go out down
No,
the street and change the world. What we can do is what we do have control over is ourselves and how we respond to all of these trigger events, because that's what they are. They're events intentionally put in place to trigger us and get us to emotionally react, get us out of our
exactly.
vibration, and they're loose farming. They're feeding off of that negative energy, and then therefore we're feeding the grid. So
Exactly.
if we can control how we respond and how we react during these times and maintain a positive vibration with just ourselves and the people around us, that's what it's going to take. That's what we can do.
Yeah,
If you're letting yourself get defeated, if you're letting a news report or something you hear on TV
yeah.
defeat you, you're not helping anybody, not even yourself. And that's what
I
they
think
want.
that's actually one of the last things you should be busy with now. If you intuitively feel that something is up, something is coming, just make sure that you prepare for yourself, that you go within, that you stay grounded, that you stay away from fear no matter what happens. And that we get through it. And there's all there to it. And be sure that you are prepared for whatever is coming, maybe a worst case scenario, because what more can you do than that? But we can be impatient, but I don't think that impatience will last long. But then is the question, what have you done in order to get through it? Because
Yeah.
if you've been sitting, uh, thumbing around like that and waiting for something or somebody to save you, well, then you made the wrong choice, I do believe.
Yeah. Well, look what we just did. We went and traveled for 2 weeks, 2 conferences. We're living our lives. Like, we're not letting this fear keep us at home, afraid to go. If I have to go somewhere, I go somewhere. I'm not letting it stop me. And it's not easy for everybody. I get that. But you can control your own reality. You really can. As much as they want you to think that you can't, you can.
Well,
It
obviously,
all depends on how you react.
in your case, you're living in the US, which is
Mhm.
massive. I live in a little country. I mean,
Mhm.
that's literally 2 hours and I'm out of the country. So it's not like I can go anywhere unless, you know, I take this stab in my nose, which I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's
So I'm
different.
not gonna risk that. I'm just gonna sit back and wait till it's all over. I'm not gonna risk anything because I don't want to. But if you are in a big country, you can still travel around over there at least.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
can, and we're fortunate. I know that's not the case in other parts of the world. So
yeah.
I'm only speaking from my own experience, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my friend lives in Spain and he says, well, I'm gonna go to the island over there, an island over there. And I'm like, yeah, damn, you're already there, so you can do it, right?
Yeah,
Although, even if they take an airplane, they still need to, get themselves tested and stuff.
sure, sure.
So, but I guess you guys have that too, right?
No, only if you're leaving the country. You can fly.
Really?
You can fly anywhere you want right now. You just have to wear a mask, but you don't have to get tested, or you don't need a vaccine. Not yet. They
Oh,
tried. They keep trying, but
they
you
do
don't
that
know.
all over the place, and you pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. I
yeah,
had a friend he had to go to Mexico and he had to pay. And it wasn't him. Somebody was going somewhere. They had to pay like $400 for like a test because you have to get a rapid result test
yeah.
because your test has to be within so many days of your flight. And this person didn't have a choice, so they had to spend like $400 just to get the test, just to leave. And it's like,
Well,
get
the whole
out of
idea that you have to pay for it anyway, they want
here.
it,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Well, it is a
Um,
bit, it is a business model, let's face it. I mean, because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but
yeah,
I don't want to get kicked off, so we can't talk too much about this stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to actually come online very quickly, and I wasn't planning on streaming at all. I just wanted to, and then I bumped into Tyler, and I said, "Hey, come on with me, so I don't have to be that short, and then people can enjoy your story from ECETI as well."
yeah, yeah.
So I figured I combined the two. So I'm gonna be offline for, well, not offline, but I'm gonna do shorts probably, but I'm not gonna stream my regular for 2 weeks at least. Because yeah, I need a bit of calm and a bit of rest. Everybody is incredibly tired. I hear. I don't know about you all, but it's out of the roof.
Yeah, people are exhausted. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been emotionally exhausting for a lot of people, and you might not even realize it until you're reflecting back on the past year and just thinking, "Holy shit," you know?
But it's
And
almost also like an exhaustion, like almost like you're being prepped for something that you're so exhausted because like you almost are forced to rest for what is
yeah, yeah,
coming, right? Do you feel
yeah.
that?
It's like we've been through training almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, they want us to rest. Maybe,
I
I
wonder.
have a feeling on some level we're all being prepared in our own ways. It's going to look different for every individual because we're all different places. We're all different levels, and what you need to do to prepare is going to look different from me and everyone else.
Yeah.
So individually, whatever is happening in your life, if you're ready for it, if you're going to be part of this war,
Yeah.
then you're getting the proper assistance, I believe.
Yeah, I believe actually we were just talking about that this afternoon. Like intuitively, it's almost we don't know who is putting us onto this training, so to speak, but it does feel like that. We all said it. It was like so in sync, everything. And everybody I speak to says the same thing, only everybody has their own kind of lesson still that they have,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. There's lessons. Exactly. It's going to
Yeah,
be different for everyone. And there's lessons to be learned. Somebody might be a little further along. It's like the flower analogy.
yeah.
There's a seed or the flower. They're both the same exact thing, but they're just at different stages of their growth.
And this is why this group, for example, what we have, I notice we're now starting to all slowly coming in sync together. And that's what you get when you actually unite as a
Yeah.
group. And so you get much more acceleration, which is awesome. And but are you going to be streaming these weeks, or
Yeah. We're not missing a beat. Um, we're going to keep doing this
you're not
every
as
week.
lazy as I am?
No, and then we don't always cover the current stuff. We get into other galactic stuff and space stuff or whatever. We cover everything. Honestly, there's no boundaries on our show, but um, there's no lack of things to cover because of our format. So
Yeah.
we already have a full booked out month, and
Really, I
yeah,
was lacking guests actually, and I thought, well, since it's so quiet and all that, I figured I get these 2 weeks off, but you're obviously booked for a month. But I
yeah,
do have to admit, I haven't been putting much energy in it because I've been busy with my website and all that stuff as
yeah,
well. But yeah, definitely, I figured, August is always such a weird month, right? I mean, summer, and then all of a sudden, somewhere in the middle, everything starts again. So I figured, I'm just going to take my time. And why not now? Now would be the
Mhm.
moment, I guess.
Sure, sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, get some rest. Do what you got to do. It doesn't matter what people think, if they're missing you online or what, because when it comes down to it, you got to take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I just want to get busy with stuff for the future, and keep working on getting off that last little dose of antidepressants, which by the way is not an easy one, but I'm still going through it. And but yeah, I mean, we all need to do what we got to do. And I hope literally that everybody can take something out of this, because it's very, very important. Stuff is coming, I do believe, and everybody feels it. Get in tune with your own intuition, I would say, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And
So
yeah, take care of yourself, and most importantly, protect yourself.
absolutely.
Spiritually, because that's actually how they win this war. It's not with weapons. There's literal entities that can take over and take control of somebody. If you're not aware, they can really have some fun with you. So it's good to know yourself enough to have enough self-awareness to know whether, okay, I don't feel normal, I need to do a clearing, I need to see a Reiki healer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And because that's like some of these protests, I'm just going to say this, some people think it's super important to protest. I personally think it's like a honeypot
Yeah.
for these entities. They get everyone in one location, and there's this total low vibe, chaotic frequency, this energy. They get people triggered. There's people out there who they have complete control of, and they're triggering other people. Then you have, as soon as you're in that low place, these entities are just hanging out, waiting to just
Well,
swoop in.
if I have to say, the ones that I've seen in Europe, and they were big, big, big. I have to say, everybody was really upbeat and
Well,
very
that's good. That's
like
good to hear.
standing like in their power. It was amazing, to be honest. It was quite the energy. If you look at the footage as well, you can see it. It's
That's good.
nothing. There was no anger involved. It was pure power, like taking your power back. That's why they
If
called it a rally and not.
if yeah, if we can do that, that is great. But I guess I should take that back and say I meant, when we like the more of the riot type of thing, when they just
Yeah.
everybody's in the streets and nothing like. But yeah, if you're with the right group of people, it's different. It's different. But
And also,
um,
if I think it's the how, because they made it worldwide, right? And it was the world rally for Freedom, I believe it was called. And that was awesome, because that's about standing in your power and not about fighting something, because we do need to fight something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Somebody just said, XJ said alcohol allows them in. That's
Yeah.
true. And James Gilliland said something that changed my mind about the bar scene forever. He said, you know, he, whatever he does, he's able to see certain things and whatever. And he said that um, if we could see through the veil, the bars aren't for humans. They're for the fourth dimension, for these entities. He said they're hanging out in the rafters, they're hanging on the lights, they're all over the place. It's just like it's a feeding ground for these entities, and they're waiting for that person to take that one last drink that puts them over the edge, that makes them vulnerable, and then they swoop in. And how many times do we say, "Oh, he's not even the same guy when he's drinking," or she's totally different when she's drunk? That's because it's not actually that person.
Yeah,
There's entities, and sometimes it could be an entity that makes them happy. You know, some people are happy drunks. It doesn't have to be something bad, but either way, they're souls that are trapped that can't transition for whatever reason, and they're feeding off of us.
absolutely. Well, I was in rehab, so I know all about that. It was like one infestation of them. And
Yeah.
I had my clearing with Eric Rains after that, thank God, because that was horror. You can
Yeah.
feel it, you can see it. And I wasn't even that sensitive yet, because I was myself over there, right? But you do feel it. And I never much of an alcohol person at all. But yeah, definitely I do believe that. And I think the hangover might actually be not so much the physical sickness, but I do believe it also has to do probably with these entities as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I All of it does, I think. And I'm not judging anybody who drinks, because that's what I used to do. That's what I did. I was a drinker and a partier, and I lived that life.
Yeah.
And you know how I'm coming into realization that there were entities involved, because I felt home when I was at a bar. It was weird.
Yes, that's
I
when you know.
Yeah,
That's when
I
you know.
felt home. I was like, I can hang out here all day.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know, now I can't even get close to them. I don't even walk in them, but I'm not judging. I was there. And I do think it's fine to have a sip on a glass of wine, have a couple drinks, especially that I learned that you can, we always talk about blessing our water and restructuring our water. You can do the same thing with your alcohol, and you
Yeah.
can take out that all that negativity that's surrounding it. And you
Well, and
can
it's
make,
also, as
yeah,
long as you still have control and you're not like, downright drunk.
know yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know your point.
Exactly. That's very important. Who was that? Miss May. I had a demon jump in while drinking. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for that to happen. It's amazing. And you see in these countries like England and Norway, where they have these clocks for alcohol, the more they start drinking, because they have this limited time span that they can drink. I mean, it's the worst they could have done, because, you know, I mean, how do you ruin a whole freaking population?
Hmm.
And
Sure.
that's how
That's
you
why
do it,
it's the only drug poison that's like heavily promoted. There's billboards for it, there's commercials for it.
for
Yeah,
a reason.
for a reason. They know that they know exactly what they're doing. They know us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah, I do recommend everybody to do a detox as well. Right before the fall comes, if you live in a country where you have the fall coming, because it's important to be healthy,
Yeah,
just in case.
I'm in the process of a parasite cleanse right now,
I need to start now
and it's
too.
been pretty gnarly. There's some days I'm fine, like today I'm good. Yesterday and the day before I was not good.
What are
At
you
the
doing for a cleanse, kind of?
I'm doing a 21-day cleanse with the Mimosa pudica, which neutralizes or paralyzes the parasites. Because if you don't do that, then if you try and wipe them out, they just cling on, they bite onto your organs, and then you can't get them off.
Well,
So
that
you have to,
depends. Yeah.
yeah, you have to neutralize them. And then there's a biotox, they call it, which that gets rid of the die off after you've killed them, which I'm using MMS, chlorine dioxide.
Oh, right. I have
Uh,
that too,
yeah,
but I didn't know.
the two-part mixture. Yeah, you dilute it with some water, and it quite literally tastes like it doesn't taste like bleach as much as it smells like bleach. It tastes kind of like lemon water, but it wipes some shit out, and I'm starting to feel better and better. And some days you're detoxing, some days you're not. It's just a cycle. So
Yeah, I did the full colon cleanse, and then after that, it's all maintenance rather. But I use nano silver a lot,
oh yeah.
and the fast one is oxy powder because they hate oxygen. They literally hate it. But you always
Mhm.
need to make sure that you take probiotics as well.
Yeah.
However, if people want to know more about that, I should have Alexia on, because she knows all about this
Yeah.
stuff.
That's how Eisenhower, Alexia Eisenhower, her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's how that I'm using her 21-day
Oh,
cleanse.
you're doing hers. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I should get her on as well because she is so freaking knowledgeable about it.
yeah.
You know,
I knew I had to do something about it because for one, all these people started sending me, I don't know why I'm compelled to share this with you, but it would like be a parasite cleanse video or something. And like just weird how it works out of the woodworks. And then I literally had a dream where like there was like this alarm going off and there was this computer screen that said parasite detected and it was flashing green light. And I knew exactly what it meant. It was like, and I started to cleanse right after that. And the first day of the cleanse was actually like I must have had something that was ready to go because the first day that wasn't supposed to be bad was like bad for me,
oh
you know.
gosh.
It was
Yeah,
good. It was good, but my eyes were watering, my nose, I was just leaking everywhere. I was sweating. I woke up in a pool of sweat. You're peeing 100 times a day. Your
you get
body's
sick.
getting, yeah,
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 because these toxins come out. So,
mhm, yeah,
and they try to grab on and all that.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I had
and
this
then
weird.
you
Go
can
ahead.
you can step it up after that with a metal heavy metal cleanse and stuff
That
like that.
that's what I wanted to do first. And
No, no,
then
no,
no,
never
I know
start.
you can't do the heavy metal detox because actually the parasites block the metals
Oh, they
from
do? I didn't know that.
yeah, that's what Alexia says. She goes, those parasites actually stop those metals from being
Because
extracted.
they feed of it.
Yeah, they so you have to get rid of the parasites so then the metals can now be extracted. Otherwise, you're just like,
Oh, the
yeah,
reason that I knew you couldn't do it is because it's a very heavy detox. So if you didn't have a regular detox, it's too heavy for your body to actually
yeah.
handle that. So, but yeah, these topics are actually very, very, timely at this point, I think.
Yeah, no, it's important. These are real things, and if we want to move forward, I think this information is surfacing now, so we can prepare our bodies for whatever is ahead that
Yeah.
we probably can't even imagine.
Yeah, exactly. I need to, maybe I'm going to actually invite Alexia to also post on my Telegram channel, because she always posts about that stuff. And that way, if people want to know stuff, and then they can ask her questions about it as well. And I will have her on when I'm back as well.
Yeah, you should. You should. She's been on Nicole Frolic show. That's the
Yeah.
episode I watched. Yeah, so
Yeah, you can check that out too if you want. But I will put all the links in the description after this because I wasn't even expecting to be a full hour. Go figure,
yeah. Hey, it was a good talk though. It was
right?
we didn't waste our breath. I don't think. Maybe we
No, we
did.
didn't. Well, I hope for everybody that you enjoyed it and watch back. I hope you all enjoyed this information. Keep your windows closed for the storm, and be at peace, everybody. Raise that vibration and be kind to everybody, to each other, and don't judge, and get that vibration up. That's all I've got to say. How about you? Tell me when your next show is.
Thursday night we'll be premiering another episode, and yeah, we're booked out every month. Aaron and I will be in Mount Shasta at the end of the month for another conference. We're not speaking; we're just attendees, but we're going to be doing some networking there. And
Awesome.
yeah, I'm excited. I've never been to Shasta. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
Oh, that's cool.
no, that's
Well,
Northern California. So I know there's a lot of fires and stuff up there, but I will. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I imagine. Gosh, I can't wait to get in the US in the first place, but that will
Yeah.
take a little bit still. But yeah, I will put your link in the description as well, and actually change the title because it was so, um, you know,
It's
a last.
perfect. It's
It
the
was
title's perfect. Just leave it. Just a short talking update. Yeah.
well,
People are
yeah,
gonna
yeah. It didn't say that you were here, so
oh, it doesn't matter.
yeah. Well, but anyway, it
Oh
was fun
yeah.
anyway. I like these
Great.
spontaneous things.
Thank you, Christina Love. We met her in Sedona actually. So we got to finally meet her in person. And yeah,
Ah,
thank you for sharing the link. And it was great seeing you too.
yeah, she's a
She
sweetheart.
she made a trip out there just for one day and had to head right back home, man. I couldn't believe it. She did it, but it was awesome.
I know, I know. I saw the pictures. It's so gorgeous. And yeah, for anybody that yeah wants to needs help or whatever, if you ask me a question, just get it on my Telegram channel. I always read the comments. I try to get rid of the spam. I'm sorry, I don't have this bot that I need to update all the time because you cannot update these bots anymore. It's just crazy. But I try to get rid of all the stuff that is in there. um Sarah, I'm not on Foxhole, and I am on Gap, but I'm literally not ever there. Actually, I do have Gap. It's in my description, but I'm never there. I am in D Live and I'm in Twitch. So yeah, and you are in D Live,
No, we're
Twitch.
not on D Live or Twitch, but we're on like BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud,
No way.
and we're on like literally 20, I'm not even exaggerating, 20 different podcasts, audio platforms. So, and it's
Wait,
fun.
so do you do you podcast what you do in your video? You stream that in your podcast?
We up as soon as we're done with the video version, we upload it to our RS feed, and that goes out to all. It just automatically spreads out to all the podcast platforms, and then that RS feed is like publicly available. So let's just say you and I wanted to start our own podcast platform,
Uh-huh.
an app, which people do, and then you can go through and just add all of them that are in this library. So you can have your app have all these. So we'll be added to new platforms without us even knowing. Like somebody
No.
told us that I always ask when we meet people, I was like, how did you hear of us? She's like, oh, from Podbean. And I was like, we didn't even hear of Podbean until we were added to it by someone else. And that's how this girl even found our show. And it's funny because like you don't realize how much reach that actually has.
Oh my God, I need to start doing that. You need to
Yeah.
teach me a bit about that because I don't know anything about that podcast. They don't even I always have to see my face, obviously, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you always have a conversation, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just the audio version most people get. One person was like, Tyler, is that you? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, I thought I recognized your voice. I'm like, you didn't know what I look like? They're like, no, I only listen to you guys on Spotify. I've never even seen your. I'm like, what? Like, it's so weird to me. You just think that everyone is watching you.
So do you
So
have more listeners than watchers, or
we have it's growing. It's growing. So, and we're so spread out. So we have handfuls of listeners everywhere. But if you added them all up, it's getting up there. So
oh my God, I wish I knew that, but now I do. So now I'm gonna start.
it's
Uh,
easy too because you don't have to be on all those platforms. It just automatically just. And then there's Zach Voorhees has a platform called Rise TV, Blast TV, actually, not Rise TV, Blast TV. If I'm not mistaken, we're on it. I feel like I should know. He hasn't officially launched it. He talked about it on our show, so it's okay to talk about, but he hasn't officially launched it. But what happens is every time that it's linked to YouTube and all that stuff. So every time that we upload a video on YouTube, let's just say, his algorithm automatically picks it up and puts it on his platform. And it's just like whenever you get on there, it looks just like YouTube or Netflix, or it has all of these shows on there. And so every week our show is automatically updated on there. And it's really cool because now it's a platform that he's not tied to anything. So he can't get attacked because it's just picking it up and it backs up your episodes on there.
That's so cool. I need that. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing Odyssey. I don't have any place where you can actually store all your stuff, only at YouTube. Well, for how long will that be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we can talk about that behind the scenes.
Yeah, I
And
forgot we're even live. Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah, it's so
It
funny,
doesn't
right?
matter. Yeah.
When you're
No, but
talking,
it's good to get yourself out there, really.
yeah.
Oh, Christina Love shared our link tree. Guess what? Our link tree got removed. If you click on that, they said we were improper use of links and they banned us.
What?
Yeah.
How many links do you have in there with all the podcasts? So there must be
We
many.
we had quite a few, but it shouldn't matter. Like they all of a sudden everybody's like, your link tree doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't. They totally removed us.
Oh my gosh. So they start there too now. Ah, crap. So
Yeah.
we need to pay extra attention everywhere, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going to Odyssey, what James is on as well.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like people are like, you should go here, you should go here, D Live Twitch. I'm like, man, we're already so all over the place. It's hard to you don't want to spread yourself too thin,
No.
like I can't, it's overwhelming so much. And like, yeah, we'll expand, we'll keep expanding, but
Yeah.
until when it's right.
Yeah, but the podcast thing is actually a good idea because when you do a video on, I tend to actually watch because I don't want to miss it. And I don't exactly know what to miss because at the end of the day, you still want to hear what they say. And then you're
Exactly.
distracted by everything you see around the chat and all that. And then,
Well,
you miss half of it.
well, people like it because Spotify and stuff like that, you just download it you can download this a super small audio file and you can just download it to your library. Now you can listen to it on the airplane or while you're driving. You don't have to be connected.
Exactly. Oh my
So
gosh. I found something new, guys. So thank you all for coming, and I will put all his links in the description, and also Nicole Frolic, so you can check out Alexia over there. And I wish you all a great 2 weeks. I will probably have a short here and there that I do pre-record, but and I will be after that. I will be back. So love you all, and
thank you. This was fun.
yeah, right.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just waved to my computer like I was waving bye to the chat.
Oh, let me check
Bye, guys. Yeah.
D Live. Is there anything? Oh no, there's nothing to do. Yeah. So thank you all for coming and have a great night. And I'll talk to you soon. See you around on Telegram for sure. In the meantime, bye all.
Good night, guys.
And